fact, English 2, fact or fiction. It looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
And today, everybody's going to click into checkpoint 1. It says Telltale Heart, Story, and Questions. Right here. If you don't have that, speak now, because that means I have to assign it to you. And this is what that checkpoint 1 should look like. It has like a picture and a whole story.
Say Edgar Allan.
Edgar Allan Poe, yep.
Didn't he do a poem?
He did
something about somebody.
Yeah, he did. He has a lot of writing. He has poems, stories, and we're gonna do a little presentation on him in 1 minute. I just want everybody to get here because all your work.
Can you hear me?
What?
Oh, whole time my sound was off. I'm sitting here talking. I cannot get. I don't have the link.
The microphone. Oh, you don't have the checkpoint?
Yeah, I don't have it. I'm sitting here looking for it.
Are you assigned English 2 class?
Yes, I'm supposed to be. I mean, for the summit, the only thing that I'm seeing is old stuff from last semester.
Let me just see if your name is right here. Look at this list. If your name's not on it.
Wait, I'm confused with this laptop right now. I'm trying to get it big.
Malika, you should have it because do you see your name right here?
Give me a second.
It said it was assigned to you.
Okay, so you go to the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Under week, and then you go to English
2. And it should say fact or fiction.
Oh yeah, that's underneath the list. Okay.
Yeah, and then checkpoint 1. Thank you guys for your patience as we're getting here.
Okay.
I need a cut.
When's the last time you guys went to the barber?
My barber calling me.
Before Corona.
I know. You heard that story about the barber who he died and he got everybody sick.
Wow.
Because he was doing house calls.
Oh no.
No, he was still trying to get his money then.
It was in the news. I think it was in Baltimore.
Baltimore's stupid, so that's why.
Yeah,
I'm from Philly.
They can't wait to get their haircut.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah, my barber, my brother, so I don't gotta worry about that.
That's good. All right, y'all. So today what we're gonna be doing is I'm gonna be reading a short story to you guys called The Telltale Heart. And everybody has it on their computer to follow along with.
No, mine's not. It's blank.
Who is that?
Modesty.
Shanice?
Modesty.
Oh, Modesty. I'm sorry. Are you saying your checkpoint is blank?
Yes, nothing on it.
Is anybody else's checkpoint blank?
No, I got this whole story.
Where did you click, Mod?
The Telltale Heart story.
And this checkpoint 1 right here?
Mm-hmm. It's saying go to old version. Yeah, mine say that too, but it says something underneath it.
It says something underneath it?
Yeah,
you gotta go to the link underneath it.
Go to the link underneath.
And it's blank. Like, I keep clicking and nothing. Oh, yeah. Something wrong with my computer.
Does everybody else have it except Modesty?
Hold on, let me refresh it. I'm about to refresh it.
The problem is I made a new checkpoint and then I uploaded the new one. So I basically erased Summit.
All right, I refreshed it. It's working now.
It's working now? Okay, good. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is just learn a little bit about the author, Edgar Allan Poe, because he was in, can you guys all see this?
Yeah.
Like it says childhood, etc. He had a really hard life, and he's known as like the father of mystery stories and detective stories and horror stories. And he was born in the 1800s, so a really, really long time ago.
I wasn't born yet.
And he has a house in Philadelphia, Edgar Allan Poe house, that you can go and visit. And that's where he
Never heard.
wrote all these stories.
Bro.
So he was like a Philly and Baltimore person. So basically he went to school. He went to school like at a bougie school, but his dad refused to pay the tuition. And so he had to drop out of school in general. So he never went to like a formal writing school. And so after school, he joined the military at West Point. And his mom got very sick, and then he started acting poorly, and he got kicked out of West Point. And so he went to Baltimore, and that's where he lived the rest of his life, like in Baltimore and Philly. And he married his 13-year-old cousin because it was 1800s, and she died when she was 24. And he was really heartbroken. He began publishing all of his writing at a really early age, but he never really made money from it. And like I said, he's regarded as the father of mystery stories, detective stories, and horror stories. So if you like that kind of stuff, you'll like his work. Has anybody ever read Edgar Allan Poe, like in school before?
No.
Yeah, what's that joint? It's something with a bird in it. I forgot. I read the
Raven?
Yeah, that joint. Yeah, I read it in like 8th grade.
Yeah. He has a lot of different ones, but all of them are kind of like gothic, like emo and mysterious.
No, and I read another bird too. We read like 3 books. I forgot his another name. What's that? Oh.
He has a ton of them.
It's a story somebody. I don't think that was him, but it was a mansion, I think, and somebody they buried the body underneath the floor. I think that was him.
Oh, that's the one. So that's the one we're gonna read right now, actually.
This is the very. Oh yeah.
The Telltale Heart.
Yeah, I read this joint.
And one of like the most interesting things is that he had a very mysterious death, and some people think he got rabies. But he was always like an alcoholic and a drug addict. And while he was working in Philly, he took a trip to Baltimore and disappeared for 5 days. And they found him unconscious outside of a bar. And no one knows what he died from. So he was just found on the street, naked, and
naked.
Yeah, and taken to the hospital and just died.
Oh yeah, so, somebody robbed him.
Maybe somebody robbed him. There was never any, like, the most research they did is that maybe he was bitten by an animal and got rabies or something. But he basically died at the age of 40, and was this very like emo man who was like messed up in the head. Okay, so some themes which we're going to talk about today. He talked about very creepy settings, lost love. What? Say it again.
They always talking about somebody dying.
Yeah, death, torture, murder, hiding of bodies, as Tyseem said.
They had a body in the story. About to read.
Yeah, they did. People go crazy.
You watched like a cartoon animation one of the story, and then we read the book.
I put at the top of the document. There's a link to that cartoon, or there should be. A big theme is also like insanity. If the person was crazy, or if they were just like experiencing stress and terror, right? So you're gonna see these themes pop up in his stories. And then some of the works that he did. Here's a list of all of them. So if you guys are interested in this one, here's a list of like all the other stories and poems he wrote. All right.
I think I read I read like 3 stories.
You read 3 stories?
Yeah, this one, then and I forgot his another one. I think it was probably Black Cat. I think it's something Cat.
Oh yeah, the black cat. Hi, 1 minute. Hi, Isaac, and somebody else just joined, Zymir. Isaac, Zymir. So before we start, let me just get you guys. We're on checkpoint 1 on English 2.
English 2.
Mm-hmm. It says the Telltale Heart stories and questions. And Taisim, I like how you brought up that the cartoon on YouTube. I'm gonna send everyone that link so that if you missed class or you missed like a part of the story, you could watch that and it illustrates everything that happens. Today,
But this story.
go ahead.
This crafty. This is a crafty story, and he got. I think he got away.
He got away with it?
Did he get away with murder? I don't think so.
Yeah, he got away.
Yeah, he got away.
No, we got to refresh it. We got to refresh your memory because the end is a little bit different than I think what you remember.
Oh, I'm thinking of
I go to because I missed the whole week.
Checkpoint 1 on English 2. It's underneath fact or fiction.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on the checkpoint 1.
Heart story.
It said you created a new version. Do you want me to go to the old version?
No, go to the new one.
All right.
Just click new.
I clicked on that, John.
Mm-hmm.
I'm smoking ham.
What I gotta do?
Ham.
Checkpoint 1, Telltale Heart, questions and story.
All right.
That's like 16.
So,
Yeah.
What's up?
You thought wrong, stupid.
Hey, yo.
All right, y'all. Here's what today is going to look like. Basically, I'm going to read the story, and you guys are going to follow along, and we're going to stop and take notes on the story based on the comment section. So if you look over here, whenever we take notes, you're going to press comment, and something will pop up where you could type a comment. If you want to mute your microphone for this class only, that might be good because we could hear everything in the background. And all we're really going to do today is read this, and then we're going to work on the questions at the bottom. If you scroll all the way down, there are questions. And that big question, you'll see it says big question. That is going to eventually be like a bigger essay question. So let's just read that now, and you can think about it as we're reading the story. And that big question is, do you believe that the narrator is insane or sane? And so as
what you say you skip?
Is it breaking up?
Yeah,
I didn't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
I hear that too. I don't know what that is. Hold on.
She said read the first
it's like static.
I hear it, yeah. I don't have it. Hold on 1 minute.
How do I turn my camera off? Because I'm hit. Yo.
You don't need your camera for today. Other days, we're going to do like group discussions and everything. And I'll ask you guys to turn on your camera and mic. But not for today.
No, people still see me. Right?
Turn it off.
I don't know how.
Go to here. Let me mute myself.
So we just about to read and answer questions. That's it?
Today, yes.
Well, you about to read and we gonna answer questions?
Yeah, and you're gonna take notes. So you're gonna watch the screen and listen, and we're gonna take notes together.
Okay.
Okay.
Christine.
What's up?
At the class, I got extras on, so can you not leave?
Yeah, I'm not leaving after class. I'll stay for like 5-10 minutes.
All
right. Can you hear me now, or is it being weird?
I still can hear you, but it's a little staticky still. But
hold on, let me just try to that might be better, I think. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, y'all. So today is just kind of like a read aloud story time, and taking some notes.
All right.
So, like Tyson said, This story is about a man who lives in a mansion, and he lives with a very old man. And
right. Wait, yeah, and it's a butler.
well, some people think it's a butler. Some people think it's his lover. Some people think.
I thought the man was a neighbor.
No,
Well, let's
look,
read it and we'll see. We'll see if it changes.
I thought the man was a neighbor and he was making a noise or something that irritated him.
Yeah.
So he lived with him.
Yeah,
Yo, Ty, that's your mic doing that, bro. That's not her.
You guys could put yourselves on mute.
Yeah, it's not
If you
you.
go-
It's somebody else. I think whoever this is.
If
Yeah,
you go to the
Ty.
bottom, you could see this microphone. Look, and turn off microphone. Right? And you'll be muted on the other end. And if you have like a really big question, just raise your hand and press unmute. All right, y'all. So we're gonna start it. Make sure to pay attention for the story because a lot of this on the unit will be based on what happens in the story. All right, so we're gonna start. True, nervous, very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the scent of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. So this guy, can someone chime in and tell me what his super sense was? Like what he did really well?
Wrong.
What does hearing acute mean?
That's an angle.
Yeah, acute angle, right? It definitely is. It means you could hear something really well. So my comment is going to be he had a really good sense of hearing. You guys could all put this comments on your page and then press post.
Where
that's gonna be though? Like it's gonna be on the document.
Yeah.
Or
You just highlight it and press comment at the top.
Wait, highlight. I'm confused. Wait.
You highlight like whatever you want to comment on and then press comment.
Okay, this is just for future reference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we bring down a little bit?
Yeah. Sorry. And is this guy gonna tell you the story like a mad person, or is he very like chill? What does he say at the end? How blank I can tell you the story.
Calmly.
Like very chill. Even though he's a murderer. All right. I'm gonna go on to the second paragraph. It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Object there was none, passion there was none. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me an insult. For his gold, I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture. A pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Now this is the point. You fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing, but you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during the week before I killed him. And every night, about midnight, I turned the latch of his door and opened it, oh so gently. And then when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, closed so that no light shone out, and then I thrust in my head. Oh, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly, very, very slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening so far that I could see him as he lay upon his bed. Ha! Would a madman have been so wise as this? So what was this guy doing every night?
He checking on the old head to see, like, is he up or not?
He was creeping on him.
Yeah, that's weird, right? He's not going to kill him, but he's just creeping on him every single night while he's sleeping.
Trying to kill him.
So I'm going to comment right here.
Yo, how the fuck you do it?
Wait, we can't see your comments.
You can't see it on the chair.
So this what you want us to do?
Yeah,
Like,
because this will help you answer the questions at the end too.
John, this joke long as hell.
So what do you guys think of that behavior? Like, do people usually stalk somebody before they kill them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
To
learn their schedule.
Oh, that's wait. Sorry, one person. Somebody said know their schedule. What else?
Me.
Why else would you watch someone before you kill them?
I'm sorry, when I yo, can you tell me how to? This joke confused me. How you highlight something?
I just think it sounds kind of creepy to just like watch him.
Christina, Miss Christina.
But I like that you know his schedule and you know like what he's doing every night. So he watches him every night, and then we're here. And this I did for 7 long nights, every night just at midnight. But I found the eye was always closed, and so it was impossible to do the work. For it was not the old man who vexed me or annoyed me, but his evil eye. So can you mute on the other end, whoever that is? Thank you. And every morning when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber and spoke courageously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone, and inquiring how he had passed the night. So you see, he would have been a very profound old man, indeed, to suspect that every night, just at 12, I looked in upon him while he slept. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. So how many nights did he watch him for?
A whole week.
Yeah, all week. He just watched him. A watch's minute hand moves more quickly than did mine. Never before that night had I felt the extent of my own powers, of my sagacity or my wisdom. I could scarcely contain my feelings of triumph. To think that there I was opening the door little by little, and he was not even dreaming of my secret deeds or thoughts. I fairly chuckled at the idea, and perhaps he heard me, for he moved on the bed suddenly, as if startled. Now you may think that I drew back, but no. His room was as black as pitch with the thick darkness, for the shutters were closed through fear of robbers. And so I knew that he could not see the opening of the door, and I kept pushing on it steadily, steadily. I had my head in and was about to open the lantern, when my thumb slipped in upon the tin, and the old man sprang up in the bed, crying out, "Who's there?" I kept quite still and said nothing. For a whole hour, I did not move a muscle, and in the meantime, I did not hear him lie down. He was still sitting up in the bed, listening, just as I have done night after night.
Who's that?
Hold on, sorry. Somebody's calling the hangout. Sorry, give me 1 minute. A student was calling the hangouts. Let me just send her this link. Sorry, he's about to kill him. Hold on.
Wait, I got a question.
Yeah.
You end off the this meeting and then you go to your next period. That's on your list.
No, I only have one period per day, just like you guys. And then I'm on videos, like if you guys have questions, or I do like individual help for the rest of the day. So I only do this class today.
So if we miss stuff, do you give out our stuff we missed or no?
Yeah, I'll tell you, like, if you want to either email me or just talk to me through here, like Zymir said, can you hang out for a second and just like answer a question for me? He might ask me what he's missed.
Okay.
So from officially from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., all teachers are available just to talk to you guys if you have questions. But we only teach from 10:30 to 12 on this new schedule.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we know when to go to your next like class that you got? You'll say it?
The next day. So whoever you have second period is tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so English 2, we got you again next Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And every week you click on the same link to join the class.
Okay.
And then second period is Tuesday, third period is Wednesday. So you only have class until noon. And just before I start reading again, every class is going to give you an assignment for the next week. So for my class, you will have homework for the next week due on Monday.
Oh, word.
For second period, you're going to have an assignment due next Tuesday. Does that make sense? Because you only have us like for an hour and a half a day.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me just make sure Selena got the link.
At first, I thought we had to go to like 3 different classes before 12 o'clock. I'm like, damn.
No, it's a different like structure doing the online class. Hi, Selena, by the way. Good, you got in. Okay. So we're at this point on page 2 where the narrator, what is happening? He's waiting to do what?
Kill the man.
No, he
just went basically, but he had to kill him.
Right, and I have a question. Does it sound normal that he wanted to kill a man because his eye was bothering him?
He says
no.
Like if you look at the video, if you look at the animation, John,
crazy.
2 different eyes. It's not as a regular eye.
More to it.
Let's watch the animation after we finish the story. I'll play it on YouTube. Okay. So we're right here. It says, I kept quite still. Hold on, wait. Okay. Presently, I heard a slight groan. Is everybody there?
Yeah.
And I knew it was the groan of mortal terror. It was not a groan of pain or of grief. Oh, no. It was the low, stifled sound that arises from the bottom of the soul when overcharged with awe. I knew the sound well. Many a night, just at midnight, when all the world slept, it has welled up from my own bosom, deepening with its dreadful echo the terrors that distracted me. I say I knew it well. I knew what the old man felt and pitied him, although I chuckled at heart. I knew that he had been lying awake ever since the first slight noise, when he had turned in the bed. His fears had been ever since growing upon him. He had been trying to fancy them causeless, but he could not. He had been saying to himself, it is nothing but the wind in the chimney. It is only a mouse crossing the floor. Or it is merely a cricket which has made a single chirp. Yes, he was trying to comfort himself with these suppositions, but he had found all in vain. So what is the narrator doing? Is he taking pleasure in like the guy's fear?
What you mean?
Like he's saying that he's like, imagine if you're in your bed at night and you hear something like thumping like that. What do you usually do?
He thinking positive, like it's nothing wrong. It's just something like an out of something. That's what he's trying to say.
Yeah, the old man is like, oh, maybe it's like a squirrel in my roof, or like
mouth. He old, so he gonna think his son that sound that he heard before.
Right. And what does the narrator do? Is he says he chuckled. So he's laughing at the old man being afraid. So everybody underline, although I chuckled at heart.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna write it down.
The narrator is laughing at the old man's fear. Is that normal or no?
I mean, it depends. Like, people laugh at death.
That's true. Do murderers usually like laugh at
No, they
subject?
no,
Psychos.
yeah, but
When you
like,
watch... Sorry, go ahead.
like, I mean, some killers they be terrified because, like, I don't know. It's like you get your first body, you're gonna be so surprised, and then like you're gonna be scared for a little bit because you didn't get arrested. And then once you get past your first body, and you get like your second, then you just stop caring, keep the buck.
But okay, so you're saying some people become numb,
Yeah.
but this guy is like laughing, like he's been like stalking this guy for a week. So you know, like the show You, right? Has anybody seen that?
I don't watch. I barely watch TV. I'm gonna keep it a Benji with you. I don't even like watch TV.
No, that's on Netflix, bro. Oh wait, no, it is on Netflix, bro.
He has
point.
a stalker,
I don't
right?
watch.
He's a stalker.
I don't watch. I don't even be on my phone like that.
Well, if you do watch it, the guy Joe is like, he's really crazy. He kind of reminds me of Joe a little bit. This narrator. He wants to see people in pain or fearful. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry.
He was only killing people who was getting in his way of love. That's different.
That's true.
That's still psycho though.
But it's different though.
Do you guys remember when the people were in like the glass cage and stuff? Joe like kept laughing and they were suffering.
Yeah.
Right? Even though he had a different motive, he still was like, we call that kind of like sadistic. That's the word. When people like other people's pain or terror. But you're right, Shanice, he had a different motive.
And he knew what he was doing. When the tables was turned, he started questioning himself, like, what are you doing? Like, what you mean?
Talking about season 2 when he found out that he met his match basically. All right, so this guy is stalking him. He's waiting for the old man like to just stop moving around so he could kill him basically. So hold on, we are right here. He opens the door and he says, "So I opened it. You cannot imagine how stealthily, until at length a single ray, like the thread of a spider, shot from out the crevice and full upon the eye. It was open, wide open, and I grew furious as I gazed upon it. I saw it with perfect distinctness, all a dull blue, with a hideous veil over it that killed the very marrow in my bones. But I could see nothing else of the old man's face or person, for I had directed the ray, as if by instinct, precisely upon the damned spot. Now have I not told you that what you mistake for madness is but over acuteness of the senses? Now I say there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury, as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier into courage." So what is he hearing? Like the boom?
The heartbeat.
The heartbeat, right? And he's saying that he's not mad. He could just like sense people's feelings. But even yet I refrained and kept still. I scarcely breathed. I held the lamp motionless. I tried how steadily I could maintain the ray upon the eye. Meantime, the hellish tattoo of the heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker and louder every instant. The old man's terror must have been extreme. It grew louder, I say, louder every moment. Do you mark me well? I have told you that I am nervous, so I am. And now at the dead hour of the night, amid the dreadful silence of that old house, so strange a noise as this excited me to uncontrollable terror. Yet for some minutes longer I refrained and stood still. But the beating grew louder, louder. I thought the heart must burst. And now a new anxiety seized me. The sound would be heard by a neighbor. The old man's hour had come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lamp and leaped into the room. He shrieked once only. In an instant, I dragged him to the floor and pulled the heavy bed over him. I then smiled gaily to find the deed so far done. But for many minutes, the heart beat on with a muffled sound. This, however, did not annoy me. It would not be heard through the wall. At length, it stopped. The old man was dead. I removed the bed and examined the corpse. Yes, he was stone dead. I placed my hand upon the heart and held it there many minutes. There was no pulsation. He was stone dead. His eye would trouble me no more. If you still think me mad, you will think so no longer when I describe the wise precautions I took for the concealment of the body. So what is he about to do now?
About to put on
hide it, right?
They about to get rid of that dream.
And I have a question, why does he keep like asking us if we think he's insane?
Because he fucking is. I thought language, but
no, why would somebody say like, if you still think I'm insane, like
you retarded.
Yeah, like, is that person usually crazy if they have to keep saying that?
He just need to, believe in himself. Yeah, I guess he don't believe in himself. I don't know.
That's a good. Can I put that as a comment, Malika? Like,
he trying to convince himself that he not crazy.
Right. He's trying to like convince his own self. I highlighted that if you still think me mad, he's trying to convince himself that he is not crazy. So, like Tyson said, some people get numb when they kill somebody, but is he gonna get numb, or you think he's gonna freak out?
He gonna be numb. He about to play it out.
So some people say numb. Some people say, I think he might freak out that he did this. I don't know. We'll see. So he's trying to convince himself that he is not crazy.
I'm just writing down stuff on the paper.
Okay, that's fine. So like we said, he's about to hide the body now. He says, the night waned, and I worked hastily, but in silence. First of all, I dismembered the corpse. I cut off the head and the arms and the legs. I then took up 3 planks from the floor of the chamber and deposited all between them. So where did he put the body?
Underneath the floor.
Yeah, underneath the floor, like in the room. I then replaced the boards so cleverly, so cunningly, that no human eye, not even his, could have detected anything was wrong. There was nothing to wash out, no stain of any kind, no blood spot, whatever. I had been too wary for that. A tub had caught all. Ha ha. When I had made an end of these labors, it was 4 o'clock, still dark as midnight. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what had I now to fear? So let's highlight that. At this point, how does he feel? For what had I now to fear? Is he anxious that somebody knocked at the door, or no? He's like, I did the best thing. I am such a good killer.
You think he's still worried? Or no?
You think he's worried or not?
I mean, he worried because it just happened. But
you think he got away? I think you think he got away with it.
Well, let's just look at what he says right here. I went down to open it with a light heart. For what had I now to fear? Is his heart heavy?
No.
It's light, right? So it seems like he has no worry.
Yeah, I don't care.
He has no worry or anxiety because he did a good job. He said there's no blood, there's no sound, right? He has no worry or anxiety about getting caught. Is that smart? Like, if you just killed somebody and you heard a knock at the door, would you just be like, okay, whatever?
No, I'll be panicking.
I would be panicking. I would be sweating, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I really don't know how y'all going to be.
I don't know. I guess I can't say, but I guess he just thinks he hid the body. Nobody's gonna catch him. It's underneath the floor. Who's gonna see it under the floor? All right. So there entered 3 men who introduced themselves with perfect suavity as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. So they heard the old guy scream. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. Information had been lodged at the police office, and the officers, had been deputed to search the premises. I smiled, for what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The scream, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country, on vacation. I took my visitors all over the house. I told them to search well. I led them at length to his room. I showed them his treasures, secure, undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought chairs into the room and desired them here to rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which the corpse was. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them. I was at ease. So,
evil bit.
What did he do to the police officers?
He finessed them.
He finessed them. He said, come in, look at it. Everything's fine.
He said, take a look around. Who's on me underneath? But what if he start to smell and all that?
Well, let's see what happens. So I'm just going to write what Tyson said. He finessed the police officers.
I don't think the smell happens right away.
Yeah, it doesn't. It takes a few days.
Okay.
He finessed the police officers because he was confident that he did a good job. And if you remember in Joe does this a few times with the storage locker, I think. Like, he tells people to come there, even though people are trapped inside. All right. So now let's see if anything happens where the police catch him. They sat, and while I answered cheerily, they chatted of familiar things. But ere long, I felt myself getting pale and wished they would be gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. But still they sat and still chatted. The ringing became more distinct, continued, and became louder. I talked more freely to get rid of the feeling, but it continued and gained definitiveness until at length I found that the noise was not within my ears. So what do we think the noise might be?
It's the body.
He's hearing a noise.
The body.
What do you mean? But I thought the guy was dead.
I was about to say.
It's a. All right. That's what I'm saying. Like when people kill somebody, they be traumatized because it's like you hear their last word.
So I like that they're traumatized. And what do you think he's hearing because of the traumatization?
Because when you kill somebody,
Keep going.
Their last words.
Maybe he's
Like
hearing
for example,
real, right?
Drive by. That's like you mean.
So he could be hearing the guy's last words, like because he's so traumatized. I like that thought. That's good. He's hearing something. And the police officers, I don't think the police officers hear what he's hearing. So let's see what's going to happen to him. I think he might be starting to freak out. No doubt, I now grew very pale, but I talked more fluently and with a really high voice. Yet the sound increased, and what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for breath, and yet the officers did not hear it. I talked more quickly, more vehemently, but the noise increased. I arose and argued about trifles in a high voice and with violent hand movements, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not leave? I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited by the observation of the men, but the noise kept coming. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting and grated it upon the floor. But the noise arose overall and continually increased. It grew louder, louder, louder. And still the men chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they didn't hear it? Almighty God, no, no. They heard, they suspected, they knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. But anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this derision. I could bear their smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. And now again, hark, louder, louder, louder. Villains, I said, dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, here, it is the beating of his hideous heart. So what happened at the end?
He told on himself.
They never figured it out. He told on himself. So why might he tell on himself?
Because he had the voices in his head.
Well, it wasn't the last words. What did he actually hear? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such the sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. So he was hearing.
I don't think the man watch out, so it was still going.
Maybe it was the ticking of the watch. It could have been the heartbeat, right? Remember he explained the old man's heartbeat? So I love that. It's either his last words, his watch, or his heartbeat. He could still hear a man's last words, ticking of watch, or his heartbeat. Do you guys think he would have been found out if he didn't tell on himself?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because he hit the guy well and there was no blood.
Yeah, he would have got away.
Yeah, but he was acting too suspect though.
Yeah, he started getting crazy. He turned white. He was moving his hands all over. He was, if you get paranoid sometimes, if you get too high, if you do something that's bad, you're just people could tell something's wrong with you. All right. So if you look at the bottom, there are some questions that you guys are going to have to do for homework. Something that I just want to, before we watch the movie so that you could kind of see this, I just want to point out that you have to have one quote, one piece of evidence from the story to support your answer. So for number one, where it says, why does the narrator say he must kill the old man? I want it in your words and then the actual, what he said from the story. So I want, your answer and then the quote. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then the big question is at the bottom. Do you believe that the narrator is insane or sane? So this is going to be your homework that's due next Monday. This will count as checkpoint 1. So I'll give you green, red, or yellow.
Oh,
I'm going to put on a YouTube video. You guys could also watch it. No, we're going to watch it on the screen share. Hold on. If it gets why is it at 250 zoom? Okay, now it's normal. Hold on. I'm gonna play it, and you guys tell me if you could hear it. Because I think you like this animation. It tells the story like in like a movie format. Be patient, be patient. If you know any of the questions, you could start answering them as you're waiting.
Writing's not that easy, but Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
Okay. So can you guys hear this on your end?
Yeah.
You can. All right.
I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna.
All right. Oh, no, that's just the end. Sorry. So I'll post this video link too in this chat, like in the Google chat. So if you guys want to watch it, you could have it to watch again if you need it. Like if you respond well to visuals, you can have it. So what I want to do is, does anybody have any questions about the story or questions about your assignment for next week?
You want us to do all these questions, right?
What?
You want us to do all these questions?
Yeah, so there's 6 questions. I'm pointing them right here. What is the narrative? So these questions are very like straightforward. But what I want you guys to do is to remember, get the quote from the story. Yeah. So let's do the first one together. Why does the narrator say that he must kill the old man? He says he must kill the old man because why? Who remembers? What part of his body was bothering him?
His eyes.
Yeah, because he had an eye that bothered him. Now that's your own words. You guys are going to find the actual quote. You're going to scroll up and find that quote. So it's somewhere in the beginning. Mm-hmm. It says, oh, right here in the second paragraph. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled a vulture. This whole quote here. So I'm going to press Command C. Get this quote. Scroll down. And press Command V. The narrator says, quote, Command V. And that quote will go right there. If I don't see your quote, you'll only get a yellow. So it has to be a quote and your own answer for a green.
Okay. That's what every question, right? And you don't want us to do the big question?
The big question, I do want you guys to just think about, and I want you to write like your response. So do you believe that after reading this, do you believe the narrator is insane or sane? Insane. And I want you to type up your response. And then I do want you to collect at least 3 quotes that would like tell us that he is insane or sane. Okay. Once again, I am available for help, or if you miss a class, I am available from 1 to 3 every day, like open hours, basically. So you could ask me questions, anything like that.
Can you go up a little bit?
Sorry, go up.
Just a little bit.
Right. Yeah, why doesn't everybody just copy down question 1 in their own document so you see what's like a full credit answer? I'm going to leave this up for you guys to copy it.
Okay.
Because it could help you to see an example. Everybody everybody who's on the call, please copy this right here into checkpoint 1 for answer. Sorry. And guys, just so you know, on checkpoint 1, when you're done with all of these questions for your homework, please press turn in at the top so that I could actually get the work. That's how I'll receive it from you.
Hold on. Where's it at?
It should say it right at the top. Does it? On yours, it should say turn in. Mine doesn't say turn in because I'm not a student.
It don't say turn in.
No, I see request feedback.
Oh, sorry, request feedback.
Okay.
That's the final product. It says turn
in. Cool.
I don't see that either.
It's in blue. It say extra help in blue.
I already requested help, so mine's not blue no more.
Oh, okay. Did you try to? You probably got the old one. You know what, Shanice? Let me just.
I'm on a new one.
It doesn't say anything on yours, Shanice.
I think I got it. You get it?
Let me see. Let me refresh it.
Press cancel.
For some reason, mine is so slow right now. Oh, I see 2 need feedback. Hold on. Tamir, Shanice. Okay, so Shanice, I think I could turn yours back to you.
No.
You answered everything?
No, don't. No. It might be wrong.
Okay, so I see you did a good job with number 1 and for the big question. But can you finish numbers 2 through 6?
I didn't say I was done.
Oh, I thought you said you were. Okay. So let me turn it back to you. And then I think you could keep typing. If you refresh it. All right, let me go back to the checkpoint. Boom, boom. Okay, cool. We're going to pick up food, so we'll go to Kmart if you want. Okay, so you need my, can you take my bracelet? It's hanging up. Yeah, what size? Medium, large, and gray, or any other color, and then just my pin 7179. Okay. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna keep this open. It's now 11:40. We're gonna end like the hang, and before we go, does anybody have any questions like that they've encountered like as they're answering the questions?
No, I got a question for you at the class.
Oh, Zymir? Okay. So you guys are free to exit the hangout if you would like, but just to let you know, these 6 questions and the big question are homework for I will be looking at it before next Monday, so probably Sunday night. I'll put a grade on it. If I were you, just like because I'm a procrastinator, I would take this time to just answer the questions now, so that you don't have the whole week to just sit on it.
Right.
Bye. And remember to please put a quote for each of these 6 questions. So you are free to go if I've taken, I think I have everybody who was in here. Isaac, Yaz, Taisim, and Zymir. Okay, good. Did you guys like this story?
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. I like him as like he's one of the better old white dudes who's ever written, I think. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good like suspense story. And just so you know, going forward, you guys are gonna have to write an essay on if you think he's insane or not. And next week we're gonna be reading 2 articles on like stress and fear. They're nonfiction. And we're gonna try to discuss like if he was too strict, like trauma, and if that played into him killing the man. But just so you know, your final product will be about this question: is he sane or insane?
Let me go read about something happy. Like, I don't like this story.
It's too scary for you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, well,
it's nonfiction, right?
This is fiction. So remember, fiction is something that didn't really happen. It's like a novel, a book. Next week, we're going to read nonfiction. So nonfiction is like an article, like from a newspaper. That's going to be real about human stress.
Okay.
So fiction did not happen and is kind of like imagination. Nonfiction is real.
But why would he write about it if he never like probably thought about doing it or actually did it?
That's a great question. Do we think that Edgar Allan Poe might have thought about killing somebody?
Yeah, because I do. I think about killing people every day.
Yeah, of course.
But do you think about it this well? Like, he wrote about it.
Like, planning it out, no. But like, I just be thinking, like, yo, I really would kill somebody. Like,
wow, crazy as hell.
Like, stuff a pillow in their face and not let them breathe the air.
God.
That's what it's quarantine do. Well, not nobody in my family, but like, I just be feeling like people.
That shit was like, do. FBI, open it up.
You might get put in an insane asylum.
But remember, in the video, the character was in an insane asylum. In that video, he was in like a white room.
Yeah, I didn't watch the video.
Yeah, I ain't watched the video.
I put you on a mute when the video came on.
Well, I put the link to the video in the chat, so you can watch the video on your own. But remember that he wrote this story so detailed that I think Shanice is right. Like, he might have done something really weird in his life.
I think so.
Is that what caused him to drink? Become an alcoholic?
Maybe. I mean, he was also like a foster child. So, and his foster parents never.
So maybe he thought about killing his foster parent, like the dad.
Maybe.
No, they kill us for real.
The world may never know
what happened in his life.
He was traumatized from his childhood, so he probably was
his dad never paid for his school. Like, he sent him to Europe, and then he said, "I'm not paying your tuition. So figure it out. Like, figure your life out."
That's
And
messed up.
he had to come back to America, and he wound up joining the army. He wound up joining the military. So I like what you guys are saying. Maybe
That's
he
worse.
what? Sorry.
The army is worse. Like they'll send you home and have you going crazy. Like
Well,
Yeah,
he
you
dropped out,
traumatized.
quit.
PTSD.
He dropped out, and then he moved to Philly. And you got, like I said, they have his house. Let me just, while you guys are doing this, let me just show you where it is. You could actually go,
I don't want to see that.
Edgar Allan Poe house.
He probably
And
got bodies staged to his walls and stuff.
That's in the Bronx.
No, it's in
Oh, what is that?
there's a few houses.
Oh, this is basically where he grew up at. This
They
not
rebuilt it.
Right?
Oh,
This
this
is
where he just lived at when he got.
It's in a national park.
I was in Philly.
Yeah.
I knew he was a Philly nigga.
Yeah, y'all don't pay attention. She said that like 8 times.
Yo, shut up.
Dead. Okay, wait. Why does my computer have a virus? Help me.
Because you got all them tabs open. Look at that. Goodness gracious. There's too many tabs open.
No, because I download this show my computer. All right. Well, anyway, let's look at the address. It is. Oh, it's downtown. So it's right on North 7th, in Spring Garden. Or wait, no, that's not.
We should have took a trip there if we were still in school.
I know. He wrote.
Yo, we can do that. Let's make a time and date, and we gonna meet down there.
Never.
I don't think it's open.
I ain't trying to get around.
Yo, and that's near the projects.
All right, here we go.
Oh man!
Oh,
see,
come on.
It's like no.
The one, it's on 532 North 7th Street in Spring Garden. And it looks like this. They preserved it, like how it looks now. And you can, so in this one, he wrote The Raven. And he wrote Telltale Heart in this house.
Okay.
So
she's saying okay.
Into murder in this house. But when social distancing is not happening, you can go inside the house. You pay and you like tour it. So you're right. We should take a trip there, but
yeah, if we go back to school before this over. Like
I know this. We're not going back to school till the end of. I mean, I don't know if we'll have summer school. They haven't. I think summer school will also be online, but I'm not so sure. They haven't mentioned it.
That's cool. If it is online, I'll take
These gonna be like, "Oh, where you from? Where you from? Where you from? From Penton."
What?
Yeah, let's go down. Let's go down there. We out.
Yeah, it looks like a nice house too.
I got a mask. For a couple people. I don't got one. I got one for you.
So now you know this weird guy lived there, and he wrote all of these very gothic, we call it gothic stories, that are very dark about murder. Yes, Selena, I marked you present. All right,
don't mark her present.
We are going to sign off for the day. Reminder, homework is the questions and the big question. Just start thinking about that. Next week, we are going to talk about if he's sane or insane. We're going to gather some quotes that prove that. And then we're just going to read an article together about stress and fear and how that plays into decisions, human decisions. All right. So if nobody has any questions, you guys can sign off. And you did a great job today. Thank you for being so attentive and so engaged.
Wait, I got a question. Wait. This only for the assignments for the day. We can't talk about older assignments on here.
What?
We can't talk about our older assignments on here.
You can. So if you have now I'm open to any questions. So if you have a question about just anything, I will answer it. What's your question, Malika?
What we do last Monday, and do we still get on what's that WordPress?
So the WordPress project was last term. It was term 3. And so here's how grading is going to go for term 3, last term. If you guys had a green in all of your assignments, excuse me. So like when we left school, if all of your assignments were green, you will get a passing for that class. So Malika, I think you were good with the WordPress blog because you had green in all checkpoints.
Yeah.
So what about me? Because I remember you told me that I turned my you said I had to do a healthy meal, and I showed you the picture and all that.
Right. I remember
So it's my, because every other class they say I got a green in it, but I don't know what's up with you because I ain't come to your class last Monday. So how would I know if I'm cool in your class?
You're fine with term 3, the WordPress project. You're fine. You had all green.
So I passed your class for term 3?
Yes. So for term 3, you guys are not getting like a number grade. It's just going to be pass or fail.
So what they gonna do about this? Because this English 2 again. So what I'm gonna have? Because I passed English 2. So what they gonna? And I'm doing this again. So what they gonna change this to English 3 or something?
Maybe you might also need another half credit in English 2. You might not have finished English 2.
Okay.
Because you need to take it twice to have 1 full credit.
They gave out a packet the last day of school before all this started. I wasn't there. I don't know what it was.
So if you did not, because a lot of kids didn't get the packet. So what the school district said was that the day that we left school, the last day we had school, whatever assignments were assigned, like before the packet, as long as you did those assignments, you will pass the class.
Because on some it say red, but I think that was the last. I think that was the last English credit I needed. I was except English 3. So on some it say it's red, but I don't know. But I remember I showed you the picture and you said copy and paste, and then I did it on paper, and then you said
Zamir, just hold on 1 minute. I'm gonna pull it up on Summit right now. Like I'm gonna pull up your grade. And I'll just see if it says, because you should be green.
Yeah, that's how it is on everybody. Everybody thing is red for every class, though.
Right, because you know how you have to do final essays and final projects.
Yeah.
You guys were not in school to do those final projects for term 3. You weren't in school for that.
Because they said because I'm about to graduate, and they said the classes that you that you ain't do for term 3, you still got the June 12th to do it. But I remember that you said you just said I passed it, so I don't have to do no other class. So I passed every class from term 3.
Yeah, let me see yours, Zamir. I'm just scrolling down to your name, and then I'll look at yours, Malika. Because see how it says overdue?
Yeah.
The reason why it says overdue is because these last like products, like the whole blog all together and the TED Talk, we were not in we
were not in school to finish it.
School. So when it's overdue on Summit, it turns up as red. Everybody's turns up as red. Yeah. So Zamir, you have all green. If you look, you have all green, and so does Malika.
Yeah.
So the reason why it's red on your Summit is because these final products say overdue. But for you asked me, and for right now, as long as you have red on green on all the checkpoints, you're passing the class.
All right.
Sense to you?
Yeah. Thank you.
It's just Summit is all messed up. So don't look at Summit for your term 3 grades. Because it's probably just going to say red.
Okay, thanks. All right, enjoy your day.
You too. Does anybody else on the meeting have questions about... Okay, Selena, I see what you're saying. So, Selena, you're probably fine too, because you did all of the checkpoints. But for term 4, so like this class right now, and any class you have this term, we are going to expect you guys to do checkpoints and final products. So like essays, etc. Okay. Again, if you have any questions during the week, like anything comes up, you can email me That's probably the best way. Or you can text me. I'll give you my phone number in the chat. You can text me and I'll respond.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all the questions I needed.
Okay, guys. Well, stay safe, and I will see you next Monday, or some of you I'll see you this week if you have me twice.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Bye. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye, guys. Modesty and Emmanuel, I'm leaving. Thank you.